home. Do not join us for the event. Please see a doctor immediately. Do not interact or speak to anyone or even come down for the event. Once you are at the event venue itself, please save this safe entry QR code located at the registration area. Upon scanning the safe entry QR code, please take your temperature. Please ensure that your temperature is below 37.2 degrees. After that, please take attendance with our working crew itself. After taking attendance, you are now safe to enter the room. Throughout the event, please ensure that you have a mask with you at all times. If you do not have the mask, please approach any of the AISP working crew to get a mask from them. If you are not eating or drinking, please put on the mask. Only if you are eating and drinking, you are able to remove the mask itself. Please ensure that you keep 1 meter apart from the person beside you on your left and on your right to ensure safe distancing measures. Together, we can keep everyone safe and ensure that the event will go on smoothly. Thank you everyone. Please sit back and relax as the event will be starting shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our guest of honor, Senior Minister of State for the Ministry of Communications and Information and Senior Minister of State in charge for Cybersecurity, Dr. Janil. Our guest of honor, Senior Minister of State for the Ministry of Communications and Information and Senior Minister of State in charge for Cybersecurity, Dr. Janil, AISP Advisory Council and CEO of Ensign Infosecurity, Ms. Tammy Tham, Deputy Chief Executive for Development of the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, Mr. Gaurav, distinguished guests, student winners of SVRP 2020, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching the event live on YouTube. A very warm welcome to the Student Volunteer Recognition Program or SVRP Award Ceremony 2020. I'm Gerald, the SVRP Ambassador for SVRP Award Ceremony 2020. First incepted on 1st September 2018, the SVRP is co-developed by AISP and the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore. Today, we gather to celebrate the achievements of our 64 awardees, 6 of whom are physically present here today. Our awardees have volunteered their time across a wide range of activities, such as managing and developing materials for virtual events, such as the very first online iteration of the Youth Cyber Exploration Program, also known as YCEP, under CSA's SG Cyber Youth Initiative, and even helping out their fellow peers and juniors through virtual mentorship programs and EAE interviews in the polytechnics. Without further ado, may we first invite our AISP President, Mr. Johnny Koh, to give his opening address. Johnny, please.
So, good evening again. Good evening, Dr. Janil, Mr. David Chua, Gaurav, CSA, Tammy, and as well as the parents and as well as the students, that, especially on the live feed that is actually watching this. And of course, for all the guests, the parents as well as the teachers, a good welcome to the SVRP award ceremony itself. And really big thank you to Dr. Janelle for actually gracing this event as well. So, I mean, these are quite extreme times. I tend to say that at every event, because as we see, this has become a new norm, that how we actually handle things. But good to know that I think even through these times, we still see the volunteerism actually happening. We do get up to 100 nominations, which is actually a very good count, I think, in terms of the lack of physical interactions, but actually still able to contribute to the community in that sense. Now, of course, what I can say is that this is really made possible through all the different partnerships coming through the academies, through CSA as well, including some of the other agencies, GovTech itself. So one of the key things is that, I mean, through the nomination, what we will actually get is really to recognize the students in terms of what they are going beyond the schoolwork that they are actually looking at. And this is one thing that we want to really bring to how we can distinguish them as well, right? Okay, so one of the key things I think really to bring to mind, I think for today, really a good big thank you to Ensign as an exclusive sponsor for this event. And one of the key things that is moving ahead as well is actually, as part of the awards, we are doing an MOU signing with CYS. And this is to further, I will say, extend our collaboration with the younger generations through the CYS network as well. So if I put it, I mean, correctly, is that the youth is really very important in terms of what we can see as a talent pipeline. I mean, I myself, I think as I shared with some of the folks, I think as we move along in our career in the cyber field, we tend to look behind and we wonder who's going to come in and actually join in the force and so on. So this is becoming that concern that I think for some of us very long in the industry, we actually seen this and really want to encourage such things. To be frank, this in the recent, especially the conversation with the youth as well as with CIS, it did bring back memories for me. So to share, I mean, my own memories of how I started volunteerism. And that was actually in year 2001. And it all started off with a security interest group, which today actually, glad to say, it has become AISP. And that I can share, I mean, personally was what drive me to actually keep and sustain me in actually this career. So I think the closing message I really want to give to students is that, you know, to volunteer is not just a phase in your life. It's going to be a journey. And this journey actually will help you appreciate not only growing yourself, but actually the people around you as well. And of course, as you move ahead, you'll be the one bring on the next generation as well. Okay, with that, thank you. Have a enjoyable evening as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Johnny. May we now invite AISP Advisory Council and the CEO of Ensign Info Security, Ms. Tammy Thum, to say a few words, please. Tammy, please.
Hi, good evening. I think I've got a speech that is longer than a few words, so bear with me. So good evening, Dr. Janu Putucherry, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Communication and Information, and MOH. Friends, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, and those online, hello, I'm Tammy. So I couldn't agree with, I'm sorry, let me adjust this. I couldn't agree with Johnny more, right? Our collective efforts as an industry and organization and our contributions as individuals matter. Our actions can indeed make a very meaningful impact on the cybersecurity community. Now, for me, it is both energizing and heartening to be here today. So as we come together to recognize the passion of these young, aspiring cybersecurity talents and celebrate the impact they have made to our community through volunteerism. So the passion for cybersecurity and the willingness to learn and explore and experience they have gained through the program, it's going to be valuable. So as they pursue a career in this sector, hopefully, when they look for a job. So our industry needs more young people like them as Singapore prepares for the next phase of growth for its digital economy. And your companies reinforce the digital capabilities to capture the new opportunities emerging in a new normal. So cybersecurity will be essential in enabling these opportunities. And the huge shortage of cybersecurity talent means that the professionals will be in high demand in coming years. So as the demand for talent continues to soar, so companies like mine, Ensign, we play a vital role in nurturing the future cybersecurity professionals and building a robust talent pipeline for the sector. Now at Ensign, we cultivate the next generation of cybersecurity leaders, and that's one of our key commitments to the society. And we have a multi-pronged approach, strategy in place to ignite the interest, identify the talents, and create opportunities for them who are keen to pursue a career in cybersecurity. Now, one key approach is to forge deeper partnership with organizations like AISP to support initiatives such as this. Such engagement give our young people a wide range of avenues to explore their potential in cyber and develop their professional and personal abilities. So I would therefore like to urge more students to join us here to volunteer, right? Join the Student Volunteer and Recognition Program for this year and get a chance to get a taste of what does it take to be a cybersecurity practitioner, right? So take this chance to hone your skills as well in cybersecurity. Another key thrust in our strategy, is to collaborate with IHLs in Singapore to provide options for deserving students to pursue high quality education in cybersecurity. Now, earlier this year, Ensign, we partnered with SUTD, the Singapore University of Technology and Design, to establish the Ensign Info Security SUTD Midterm Scholarship. Now, this is the first scholarship program that we have embarked on, and there are many more initiatives to come. So cyber requires hand-on experience. So with that in mind, we think that we have to give aspiring students a chance to acquire industry experience and practical skills. And we can do that through internships. So we're looking to hire at least 15 interns this year across a diverse spectrum of cybersecurity services that we offer. Now that's going to give them a solid understanding of what cybersecurity is all about, how do we run operations, and provide them with a glimpse of the skills, the attitude, the mindset that they need in order to succeed in this sector. So we are hoping to partner with CYS on this internship opportunities. So in terms of internship, now we are very big in terms of advocating females to join the industry, right? So we're looking at achieving greater female representation, and we're targeting to hire females for 50% of our internship for this year. So we hope that the girls can join us, right? It's really a very fun and exciting industry. So with the ladies joining us, we are hoping to tap on them to address the sector's manpower crunch and lead to more diverse ideas, innovation and development of cybersecurity strategies and solutions. Now we have other initiatives, and that include getting the young women to join us in the learning journey. It is designed to spark their interest in cybersecurity and have a career in it, and organizing a youth symposium to connect our young women with mentors and role models like myself from the industry. So I really like to urge the young people, male or female, to seize these internship opportunities as they come, right? Whether it is with Ensign or across the industry, it will give you a considerable head start to enter the workforce and set you up for success. So finally, the cybersecurity industry, our main challenge has never been about job shortages, but rather it is the lack of talent with requisite skill sets to fill specialized roles. So in Ensign, right, we're taking a leadership position in creating job opportunities so that we offer different career pathways for individual who has got a passion and aptitude for cybersecurity. So in Singapore, for instance, we are hiring data scientists for cyber, threat hunters, or even malware analysts to join us in Ensign. So we hope by doing all these things, we are giving aspiring local talents the opportunity, the knowledge, as well as the skills to pursue cybersecurity as a career. And this is not going to not only allow us to narrow the talent gap, it will also allow our nation's cyber defense to keep pace with its digital ambition and allow the companies to build more secure, digitally resilient operations as we continue to transform and position ourselves for the future. So finally, let me close this off by offering my sincere congratulations to all the award recipients and my heartfelt thanks to all the student volunteers for your contribution to the community. So I wish everybody a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. May we now invite our guest of honor, Dr. Janil, on stage to present the Gold Awards to the 6 student winners. Sir, please. The Gold Award recipients will also receive an AISP SVRP Challenge coin. In no particular order, we have Ling Chi Eun from ITE College West, Tay Kao Chin from ITE College West, Lo Ka Wei from Singapore Polytechnic, Tabitha Chew from Singapore Polytechnic, Matthias Long from Temasek Polytechnic, and Zhang Tianci Conan from Temasek Polytechnic. May we invite all 6 student winners back on stage for a group photo with our guest of honor. Now may we invite AISP Advisory Council and the CEO of Ensign Info Security, Ms. Tammy Tham, AISP President Mr. Johnny Koh, Deputy Chief Executive of the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, Mr. Gaurav, the Director of Strategic Resources and Policy Office and Workforce of Ecosystems of the Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, Mr. Wong Chun Bong, on stage for a group photo with the winners. Thank you, everyone. Now, we would like to invite everyone to watch a short clip prepared by our valedictorians for SVRP 2020.
Good evening, Dr. Janil, fellow SVRP awardees, and parents. My name is Ling Chi Eun from IT College West. I'm a second-year student with the High NITEC in Cyber and Network Security course. First of all, thank you for granting me the honor to share on this stage. To begin, I would like to congratulate all SVRP awardees on achieving your awards. The reason why I stepped forward to volunteer was because I was inspired by the cybersecurity related events and CTF competitions that I participated in. If any of you don't know what CTF is, it means capture the flag. The objective of the competition are to perform penetration testings or forensics on networks, websites, and computers in simulated environments. When I first entered ITE, I had very little cybersecurity knowledge and skills. However, with the help of two of my teachers, Mr. Yo and Mr. Lu, I picked up the necessary skills needed to become who I am today. I had the opportunity to participate in WorldSkill Singapore Cybersecurity Trade. One of the most memorable events that I volunteered in was hosting an internal CTF competition in IT College West for my juniors. My friends and I had to come up with challenging questions based on what we experienced in our past competitions. We had a lot of fun administrating the competition as well as guiding the juniors along. In the future, I hope to continue honing my cybersecurity skills and inspiring more to join the cybersecurity industry. The world is evolving quickly and many companies out there are even conducting practical interviews. It is important for us to keep our skill set updated. To end off my speech, I would like to challenge everyone to continue this journey of cybersecurity volunteerism and to inspire our juniors to do likewise. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kawi and I'm currently a Year 2 student studying Infocom Security in Singapore Polytechnic. I'm really honored to be here today as a Gold Award recipient and valedictorian of SVRP 2020. Looking back, the experience and the networking opportunities that volunteering has given me has really shaped me into who I am today, and I'm really excited to see where it will take me in the future as I work closer with my team in CYS to build something big that will benefit the cyber youth scene in Singapore. Looking forward, I would definitely want to see more youths participating in SVRP each year, and not just youths in IHLs, but also youths from secondary schools or JCs, and also maybe even expand beyond the scope of IT to develop a more rounded volunteerism, a rounded sense of volunteerism within each youth. I really hope all of you guys watching this video right now will not only continue volunteering your time, but also encouraging the peers around you to do the same as we slowly help Singapore achieve her goal of becoming a smart nation as one youth collective. I look forward to seeing you in SVRP 2021.
I think the SVRP is a great platform for student volunteers to have their efforts be recognized and in some cases even be rewarded for it, such as if they were to achieve the Gold Award, they will have a chance to intern with one of the SVRP partners. The SVRP used to be exclusively for institutes of higher learning, but recently they introduced a secondary school / pre-university version as well. So I think this would be a very good opportunity for students of these levels to participate in the program. And I reckon it'd be a really good addition to their resume, especially if they were thinking of trying to EAE into a poly or want to pursue a cybersecurity degree in university. I will encourage my peers to participate in the program because I really do think that you will gain a lot of experience from this, and you will learn more about yourself as a person and as a cybersecurity enthusiast. And I find that it's really fulfilling when you're able to share your knowledge and experience with others to help them along their cybersecurity journey.
Thank you, Zhi-En, Karwei, and Tabitha for the virtual speech. Due to the COVID-19 situation, we were unable to invite all the award winners to the award ceremony. However, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and congratulate our Silver and Bronze Award winners, student winners. Congratulations to our 26 Silver Award winners and 32 Bronze winners. This evening also marks the partnership between the first locally formed Cybersecurity Association, AISP, with Singapore's first cybersecurity youth community, Cyber Youth Singapore, and the top multinational company, Ensign Infosecurity. Now, may we invite President and Chief Executive Officer of Cyber Youth Singapore, Mr. Ben Chua, on stage to say a few words on the MOU signing.
Dr. Daniel Nachuri, Senior Minister of State, Ministry of Communication and Information, Mr. Johnny Khoo, President of the Association of Information Security Professionals, Ms. Demi Tham, CEO of Ensign Infosecurity, Mr. Gaurav Kirti, Deputy Chief Executive Development, Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, Mr. David Chua, Vice Chairman of the CYS Board of Directors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow youths. Good evening. Thank you for having me here today, and I am honored to represent Cyber Youth Singapore to celebrate the spirit of volunteerism, leadership, and community service amongst our youth. I would like to quickly congratulate all the awardees here today who have received recognition for their volunteerism and dedication to serve the community and industry. I hope that you will all continue to carry that spirit to inspire your peers. Cyber Youth Singapore, or CYS for short, is an entirely youth-led non-profit organization dedicated to empowering youth in Singapore with a voice to shape our shared digital future. We firmly advocate for the need to build a strong cyber-resilient, smart nation, starting with our youth. CYS started in August 2019 with a small team of youth, none older than 21. Passionate about Singapore's digital future, it has been about 1.5 years since, and we have come so far in such a short time despite many setbacks. As our numbers continue to increase and diversify, today we celebrate the start of a very significant chapter in our journey. Tonight, we are here to commemorate our first 2 official partnerships with not only the Industry Association, but also with one of the leading corporate organizations in the sector. This year marks the second iteration of the Student Volunteer Recognition Program. Developed by AISP and CSA, the SVRP aims to encourage volunteerism among students while honing their interests and capabilities in cybersecurity. I recall in my polytechnic days, when the program was still in development, I was being briefed about it and got so excited thinking about how it would greatly augment the involvement of our youth in the industry. Indeed, the SVRP has been very successful in encouraging volunteerism amongst students while developing their interest in cybersecurity. It has been immensely effective in both recognizing the efforts of our youth beyond the classroom as well as inspiring us to all the more excel in our future industry. In particular, I would like to share more about our SVRP awardee, who happens to be a fellow youth, colleague, and friend who I believe exemplify the values we can all aspire to follow. We have SVRP Gold awardee Lo Ka Wei, CYS Director of Community Development. She was one of the valedictorian speakers we have all heard from earlier tonight. Ka Wei and her team were responsible for the development of our youth in the community. Are responsible. In fact, as part of her CYS duties, Ka Wei spearheaded the expansion of the SVRP scope to include our secondary school and junior college peers, inspiring the spirit of volunteerism just beyond the IHLs. Ka Wei and her team are currently working on a developmental matrix that will serve to provide a structured learning roadmap, guiding and giving our youth a platform to safely and responsibly explore their interests in cybersecurity. It is inspiring to collaborate and work with youth like Ka Wei. I am extremely proud to announce that CYS will be partnering with AISP to extend the SVRP to also include youths from pre-tertiary institutions and junior colleges. Youths from these institutions will now be eligible to submit their volunteer work beyond the classroom for recognition through the SVRP framework. More information can be found on the AISP website. Now, CYS was founded to empower our Singaporean youth to take action and shape the country's digital future. To this end, our Memorandum of Understanding with AISP serves to foster and fortify our partnership and relationship with the association, allowing our youth greater and deeper access to the industry through the programs and initiatives we collaborate on. Through the signing of this MOU, CYS hopes to align our efforts for youth development and empowerment with AISP to prevent any double effort, acting as a conduit between the industry and the youth community. I thank AISP for possessing the foresight to work with us towards a shared digital future. I would also like to thank Youth Corps Singapore for playing an instrumental role in ensuring the success of the AISP and CYS partnership. Now please bear with me as I elaborate a little bit more on our partnership with Ensign. Ensign has been a key supporter of the youth community, and it is vital for the community to be supported by industry partners such as Ensign. This ensures that our initiatives are of value and are relevant to the needs of the sector. Organizations like Ensign who take the first step to support and invest in the youths are the ones who allow us youths to see the value of volunteerism, as well as to motivate us all to do our best. They have set a great example for the industry and have done excellent work in highlighting the importance of investing in youth growth and development. As our partnership with Ensign will be sponsoring an open day program with CYS in addition to their sponsorship for the CYS Summit happening later this year. We will also be working together to facilitate internship and fixed-term hire opportunities from among the youth community, which I think you guys have heard on from Tammy earlier on. Taking into account that it is SG Women Year this year, we target for our women and girls to take up at least 50% of this opportunity. And to add on to that theme, CYS and Ensign will also be organizing an on-premise learning journey at Ensign for female youths in the community. Last but not least, CYS and Ensign will also co-host a female-focused youth symposium involving industry professionals that aims to drive more interest in the cybersecurity field. I thank Ensign and especially its leadership for the foresight in investing in our futures and being such a staunch supporter of the youth. We hope to continue this exchange of support between CYS and Ensign for our future endeavours and for the development of our youth. Ensign is one of many industry leaders that are willing to support the youth, and CYS will do our part to provide an avenue for the industry to show and provide such support. To that end, CYS is launching the CYS Corporate Benefactors Program to allow our private partners to contribute and get directly involved with our youth. More information about the program will be released later this year. To conclude, CYS looks forward to further collaboration with both organizations to further enable our youth to excel in the industry and in their own careers. To achieve a future-ready, digitally smart, secure smart nation is a feat not one person or organization can do. Only with the rallying of efforts can this goal be achieved. Hence, we highlight again the sheer importance of coming together towards this common goal. Once again, we extend our gratitude to AISP and Ensign for their support. May the signing of our MOUs signal the beginning of a safe and inclusive future for all our young. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Please remain on stage as we invite Guest of Honor SNS General, AISP Advisory Council and the CEO of Ensign Info Security, Ms. Tammy Tham, CYS Board First Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of National Youth Council, Mr. David Chua, and AISP Vice President and Ensign Info Security, Head of Marketing, Digital and Brand Communications, Ms. Shereen Lee on stage for the MOU signing. May we first invite AISP to sign the MOU with CYS. Thank you, Shereen and Ben. May we invite Ensign Info Security to sign the MOU with CYS. Thank you, Shereen and Ben. Can we have a group photo with everyone? Congratulations to AISP, CYS and Ensign Info Security on their partnership formed today. We have come to the end of the award segment. We would like to thank everyone who attended virtually.
Test. All right, very good evening, SMS, ladies and gentlemen. We have now come to the dialogue section, or the most exciting part of tonight's conversation. May we invite SMS Janelle on stage once again for the dialogue session, please? SMS, please. Do we actually have a microphone for SMS? I'm assuming we do. I only see one on stage. Or I can shout. Yeah, it's a small room. All right, SMS, please. All right, so thank you, SMS, for being so gracious. Thank you. Okay, so once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this evening, as well as SMS's presence for today's dialogue session. So SMS, recently we understand that you had a fireside chat on Facebook, probably my favorite social media platform apart from TikTok, on parenting in the digital age. So I think SMS shared, in it that, nowadays more children or youths are actually exposed to the online space at a very, very young age, and they do indeed require some guidance on how to actually navigate the online space as well. So I think the SVRP awardees this evening have actually personified this mission of guiding our next generation of youths on how they can actually navigate the cyberspace in a better way. SMS, do you have anything, with regards to the SVRP that you can encourage some of our youths to take part maybe in cybersecurity volunteerism?
Yeah, no, indeed, this space of tech volunteerism, cybersecurity is a very important part of it, but it's this idea that as we are redeveloping what it means to be a smart nation, our nation, and into a smart nation, we have to think about what is the role of volunteerism in this space. And much of what we have done in the past was because people of all ages, but also our youth, gave of their time and themselves in a voluntary fashion. Whether it was doing ration distribution, whether it was helping out the unions, whether it was within the school, within your work, there were these traditional spaces where lots of things got done because people started volunteering. And then later on it became regularized as just the way things are in Singapore. In the cyber domain, we need that same approach. And it's really very important for us to think through how we can do so, not just because of the outcomes for us in the organizations that we all represent, but actually for the individual as well. It's a way for them to, you go and become an employee, you go and join a company, there's a very significant level of commitment and responsibility in both directions. You become a volunteer. In truth, one of the benefits is that you can walk away very easily. So there's no fear and anxiety to try it out. And in something new like this, you do want lots of people to try it out. But the other thing that you need is a sense of fulfillment, a sense that this is something worth doing, and that I'm helping people, that I'm getting something important out of it. And in volunteerism, this is where the equation is the other way around, as opposed to being employed. Actually, straight away, because of the network that you develop, the people that you're with, the environment that you are doing it, you can get a sense of satisfaction very early and very significantly. And hopefully then, if you have a good match between that sense of satisfaction, the task that you're doing, and your own personal aptitudes, then this is something that I can do perhaps for the long term. And put up with all of those negatives and downsides and the routine stuff that you actually have to do like any other profession, any other job, because at the heart of it is something that you really love and really enjoy. So that sense of getting started, I think, is very important in volunteerism.
All right, thank you, SMS. Volunteerism is something that I guess as Singaporeans we are pretty familiar with. I mean, especially during the COVID situation, we have seen many Singaporeans step forward to take on roles apart from their jobs to actually volunteer in the community. But cybersecurity volunteerism, I mean, okay, maybe for me, is an area which is pretty niche, pretty new. Maybe we can ask the youths who are actually present here this evening. So how can we actually, in the first place, to get youths more interested in cybersecurity? I mean, youths are interested in gaming, they're interested in TikTok, as you can see, I love TikTok, and whole facets of other stuff. But then how can we actually get youth to be more acquainted, to be more interested in cybersecurity? So perhaps you can hear from our very awesome award winners this evening. Anyone has any insights on that? All right, awesome. Wow, that was fast.
Maybe we can host more CTF competitions so that some people might get interested when they do hands-on. Or maybe you can talk about what cybersecurity people like, what we do in this industry, about the pay, the scope of work, and etc. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I guess for those of us who may not be familiar, CTF are actually capture the flag competitions. We actually hide some challenges, and then you're supposed to solve them, and then each of the correct answer is considered a flag. All right, anyone else of the awardees would like to share? I see we have a lady.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so one way I think that you can get more people to be interested in cybersecurity, right, is to provide more support for long-term community engagement activities. So right now, we have quite a few one-off events like YSEP and other tech events that I might not remember the name right now. But yeah, so all these events normally go through like 3 to 4 days, right? So after it ends, then what now? There's not really a lot of follow-up. There is follow-up, but usually it's only given to those that performed well during the event. So the majority of the students there does not have any follow-up. So that's why I feel that we should focus more resources onto long-term community engagement to ensure that the interests of these youths are nurtured slowly and they eventually will decide to pursue a long-term education in cybersecurity.
All right, thank you very much. SMS, I think, what was represented here right now, is precisely what we did this evening with the MOU signing between Ensign and COIS. So COIS is a groundnut initiative started by youths and really working with industry to hopefully have a meaningful community engagement, a program that can get more youths interested in cybersecurity. SMS, do you actually see more future opportunities, between industries and ground-up community groups in terms of cybersecurity and getting youths to be interested in this space?
Indeed. And sorry, I didn't catch your name. Kawe. What Kawe was suggesting, it really is that sense of community development around the practice of cybersecurity. That it's not just about an individual event or individual activity, but you have over time the development of a community. And some of the people, this is very much what David does as part of his NYC work. You have a number of people in your ecosystem who are thinking about this in a larger sense. And there are some components that are necessary. One is a community of practice among the professionals. And indeed, that is what is being developed, where people are not just looking at it from the interests of their company or their organization, but really that there is a community of cybersecurity professionals who are doing things for the community and the next generation. You then also need a way for the youth to become engaged, something for them to do. And things like the Capture the Flag, organizations like we've talked about, events like we've just talked about. Because without something to do, you haven't got a way to anchor the experience. And then actually the bit that you're talking about is once all that has happened and people are involved and engaged and you have mentors and seniors, you have development pathways and you have this network, you sort of need a way to hold together as a community of volunteers. So the fact that you do have organizations like AISP and COIS coming together, both relatively young in the scene, but it's a great start. And I think the ways we can help perhaps might be to look at how other organizations which are not purely cybersecurity focused can perhaps partner, widen the network of influence as well as the network of audience. How maybe the things that you organize can feed into other domains, whether it's gaming or other parts of industry, and bring a dimension of cybersecurity to somebody else's type of domain or industry. Again, broadening the sphere of influence. And then what it does is it creates more and more things for you to do over time. meaning more opportunities for more young volunteers. But I think these are great suggestions. I'm going to sell a little bit of koyok here as well, because we're developing the Punggol Digital District in my constituency of Punggol, and I would love for that to be a home for a cybersecurity community, either of professionals or of volunteers. It's a little bit over the horizon because at the moment it's a big hole in the ground and the foundations are being built. But at the end of the day, once it's all done, we'll have SIT there. We'll have a fair number of companies who work in the tech space, not purely cybersecurity, but the tech space in general. And you're going to have the combination of young people as well as lots of opportunities. And so I think I've just signed up to do a lot of work to create a community of practice. But I'd love to have some people in the room come and join me on that as well.
Indeed, thank you, SMS. So, I honestly thought that I was born a little bit too early. So, if CYS existed when I was actually a youth, which I still like to think I am, I would have definitely signed up to be part of CYS. Unfortunately, the age limit is 35, which I shall not reveal too much, otherwise I'll be revealing my age. So, on cybersecurity, I think all of our youths here are pretty passionate, in terms of cybersecurity. As you can see, they have volunteered a lot in the sphere of cybersecurity. They have gone out of their way to really, influence their peers as well on, the positive use of the internet. So, really, I'm sure that with youths that do not actually have cybersecurity background, are there ways that they can volunteer in terms of for some of the cybersecurity programs? Maybe I'll open the question to the ground. Would anyone like to take the question? Nope. I can see the youths arrowing each other. Oh, you look like you're standing up. You have something to say? Yeah, you do. Maybe you can share with us your name as well, please.
Oh, sure.
Is this for me? No. Oh, thank you.
My name is Jonan. Thank you, Dr. Janil, for sharing about the volunteerism work that you have done. I really, personally appreciate it. As everybody know that, everyone has the concept that cybersecurity can only be volunteered by, those people that have cybersecurity background. But I personally do not agree, right? For example, like what Mr. Ben has said, Cyber Youth Singapore is a non-profit organization where they have volunteers from all different backgrounds volunteering with them. So right now, I'm the director of Cyber Youth Academy, where we have projects and initiatives that allows students to come on board and volunteer. So I will not go into details, but some of the things that we do, like we have developers, we have instructors. Some of them, actually a lot of them came from different backgrounds. Like for example, I have a uni student who studies information technology, which has nothing to do with cybersecurity, right? And some of them even has background in software development, which also doesn't have anything to do with cybersecurity. However, they are volunteering as an instructor and also as a developer. So they will be working alongside those cybersecurity enthusiasts and study with them and also learn with them because very importantly, Cyber Youth Singapore is where people from different backgrounds are able to come together and study cybersecurity alongside with their peers. That's what Mr. Bang has envisioned Cyber Youth Singapore to be. So thank you so much. I will like to pass the mic to Matt to carry on.
Wow, thanks for arrowing your partner beside you. I think this would go a lot smoother if we had that arrow system going on.
Thank you, Conan, for arrowing me. But so in terms of how youth with no cybersecurity experience could give back to the community, I think there's a lot of things about cybersecurity that is not strictly technical, because when we think about cybersecurity, a lot of us think about stuff like hacking or data breaches, all very technical things, but there are a lot of other things that can be done to spread awareness, especially on a much lower level amongst us citizens as well, such as protecting yourself online, your digital identity, how you can not fall for stuff like phishing scams and stuff like that. And I think those are very paramount to how we view our own personal cybersecurity as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, since you are going along the path, shall we just pass the mic on to the next lady sitting beside you as well? Maybe I can hear from you, on your views. Now, how can we actually interest youths who are, probably a bit non-technical, to volunteer in cybersecurity?
Continuing on from what Matthias said, I think it's for youths who are afraid that they don't have that strong of a technical background or don't have any technical background at all. I think if they really want to start off with volunteering, they could always start off with like CSA roadshows where they teach the public about cyber hygiene. So all these things basically cover so-called cyber attacks like phishing and scams that we use might think like we use know, but the general public might not be necessarily sure or might have misconceptions about it. So I believe that they can always start off there, and from there I believe that if they might inculcate an interest in volunteering, and from there they can always like from what Conan said earlier, can always participate in the Cyber Youth Academy. And if they really would like to further their interest in cybersecurity, not just in volunteering, but in their academics as well, the department that Kawe and I are in, the Community Development Department, we will be launching a development matrix very soon for the youths that they could actually follow to help, they can use to help pursue and deepen their interest in cybersecurity.
All right, thank you. I like how you threw that little marketing pitch there for CYS. I think that's the way we roll. So I do pick up from the youths mentioning that even if they do not actually have cybersecurity background, perhaps they might want to start from cybersecurity awareness or cybersecurity hygiene, against scams and so on and so forth. SMS, do you actually foresee more opportunities for youths to volunteer in this area, perhaps in the community at large?
Yeah, no, indeed. I'm impressed with the always hustling mode that's in the room now. You must fly the flag every opportunity. Huh? Well done. I think indeed it's a new field. The professionals inside will know it reaches not so many years in the past, but for the general public it's a new field. So there's an assumption that you must have very deep technical skills in order to get involved, and as have been pointed out, you don't. And this is like many other pieces of technology or new platforms in the past, that once it becomes a commonly understood, the opportunities increase because people understand that there are all types of issues such as human behavior, being aware of all the scams and so forth. There are issues about organizational change. There are issues about policy. I mean, this is the people in CSA, for example, are not all coding and hacking. They're also writing papers about policy and considering the legislation. So the space around the technical skills will widen over time, and part of that widening is actually for more people to get involved as well and see how cybersecurity can feed into many other types of work and types of opportunities. So I'm glad to see so much interest. My sense is that over time this will become something that almost everybody in a tech adjacent space will need at the very least some basic skills in, some awareness, some basic skills. So at the moment it's got the sense of being confined to a small group of highly skilled professionals, but you can see it is affecting almost every aspect of the tech space. So eventually it will mean that everybody needs to understand a little bit about this, which will, I think, widen the space as you've described.
All right. Thank you, SMS. as SMS mentioned, cybersecurity is just like, for example, CSA is not just about the technical work. So I myself, I'm actually from CSA. So speaking from experience, I actually started my career as a Chinese language teacher in one of our primary schools. Picked up cyber skills along the way. Had the opportunity. Thankful to DC Gaurav for hiring me despite my lack of technical expertise. So indeed, I think it is an entire ecosystem, that we work together in that sense. Actually, today, this evening, we do have our polytechnic partners with us as well, lecturers from polytechnics, as well as the parents of the awardees. So perhaps I would like to again, ask the question to the youth. I'm not letting the youth off so easily since they won an award. So I'm going to ask the youth again. In terms of the IHL or the polytechnics or even the university's curriculum in Singapore, what do you enjoy about it? What do you think more can be done? Or is there any other way do you think that the polytechnics can actually support, the polytechnics or the ITs can actually support the development of the cybersecurity field in Singapore? All right, youth, should I arrow or should you guys? All right, awesome.
Maybe because some of the things I learned, like Python, all this really helped me for my intern, and I really get to use this skill a lot, and it really helped me in intern a lot. And for what my school can do is, my school have really done enough for me. They have provided a lot of support for me and a lot of resources for me. Yes, thank you. And now I'll pass to Kauchit.
Yay, awesome, thanks. I like the synergy going like that.
Thank you, Ziren. So for me, I would actually like to split the student type. So we have 3 student types. So there are students that learn by seeing, so visual. And then we have students that learn by hearing, I call it auditory. And then third, we have a student that learn by practical, hands-on. So I call that tactile. So for my own experience, IT actually gave me more hands-on experience. So they actually prepare me for, like Ziren actually said, for internship. So other IHL actually also have real-life scenarios where they give FYP or those real-life scenario projects to their students. So I think they actually do a very wonderful job in giving students a chance to actually experience what cybersecurity career is like. So I would actually also like to actually raise awareness where there are actually some students that actually struggle throughout this cybersecurity journey with us during IHL as well. So I actually do see some wonderful lecturers actually approaching these students to actually give a one-to-one session, as well as even creating something like an enrichment or extra class to these kind of students which are actually more in need. So I think they actually done a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like that part on the 3 types of learners. That's what we learn when we actually learn to become teachers. So just for information, we did not write the script for all these youths. These are their real thoughts, and I think that's quite an inspiring speech that both of you gave. Anyone else who would like to actually share more on your curriculum in your school? All right, Conan.
Hi. Thank you for passing the mic. Okay. So basically, polytechnics in general, have done a really great job at envisioning cybersecurity and also the IT fields to the students. Like for example, they have activities and even student interest groups, which helps students to to envision what their future career will be like through joining and through their leadership in all these student interest groups. So for example, at our school, we have the Temasek Polytechnic Cybersecurity and Digital Forensic Student Interest Group, which was started by my lecturer, Mr. Jack Lim. And he actually allows us to lead this entire SIG by our own leadership, which, we host events, we host CTF, and even we try to bring students to even like those CSA or even to GovWare, those public events, external events, to let them network with those industry partners and even allow them to know about what the current cybersecurity landscape will be like here in Singapore. So personally, I really think that through all these strategies and leaderships, it not only grow us in terms of our leadership, but actually help us to do our personal development, and even help the leaders be able to see how we can do our part to inspire other students to take up volunteerism. Like what Temasek Poly has done Temasek Poly very good Okay, thank you. Yes.
All right, I would like to qualify that all the rest of the polytechnics, ITs, and universities are as good as well. So SMS, we did hear from some of the youths really that I think their IHL education actually sort of just enhance their interest. But there's this saying that you shouldn't make something you enjoy your lifetime career, and you shouldn't make your lifetime career something you enjoy, because at the end of the day, it doesn't sit well, and one of them will drop. So SMS, from your personal experience, from your insights, what is your take on this?
Yeah, firstly, I would say don't bet on having one lifetime career, You're gonna have to have multiple careers over your lifetime. So if you can enjoy at least some of them, actually, I don't see what's wrong with that. Then you can enjoy and have professional output as well. But more seriously, I think the sense from the various comments actually is that all the IHLs, the polys, the universities, ITEs, they're doing a lot in this space. A lot to firstly think through the skills that the students need in order to come out and be prepared, address the different learning styles, and most importantly, have the right kind of relationships with industry. Whether it's about bringing people from industry into the IHLs to do the training, or having opportunities for their students to go out and do internships and get experience. So, a couple of them said, look, my school's already done more than enough for me, doing a wonderful job. And that's great. That's fabulous. But it means then the space where more needs to be done actually is with the interface with industry. And I think that's a role that the people in the room, whether you're in the association, the CYS, CSA, Ensign, NYC, but our interface with industry, I think we need to persuade industry players that the people coming out of these schools, coming out into the workforce, are keen, they've got skill sets, but you can't expect that they have finished their learning and their development and are ready to go on the first day. It's not going to be completely reasonable given the increasing depth and complexity of what's happening in cybersecurity. So large companies, like Ensign, you very glad to see they're putting up these programs for personal development. That's very important. And I think what we need to encourage is more of our industry players to see that the ability to provide personal development for their young hires makes them increasingly competitive. And this needs to be necessary, that for people to be attracted into the space, that they get the sense that when they finish their formal schooling and they join their first employer, that continues to be an opportunity for ongoing development. And maybe even their second employer. No such thing as one lifetime career anymore. And I think having more of those training skills and educational skills become part of the mindset and the skill set of the employers in this space will increasingly be an important thing for us to advocate for. And we also have to find ways for it to happen. It's not enough just to make a big song and dance and push for it. It means that the employers will need to be able to have hires who can then become trainers, who can then become interested in curriculum development and professional development. So actually that also creates some opportunities along the way as well. So I'm glad to hear the comments, and I think I do agree that this is the direction we should be moving in.
All right, thank you SMS for the insights as well as what the industry can do a little bit more moving on. Perhaps since we have parents in the room today, I would also like to ask the attendees. They were just heaving a sign of relief. They thought, this is over, but unfortunately not. So for the awardees this evening, how has your parents helped you in this journey to become a volunteer in cybersecurity, or actually sparked your passion in cybersecurity? Anyone? All right. You have Matthias has something very exciting to say.
So I guess I'll start with like a very, very, very short story. So a few years before I got into TP, my mom's web systems got hacked. So she runs a company and she got hacked. And it was very interesting to me to think about, okay, how in the first place did she get hacked, and how could it be prevented? And subsequently, right, while I was still in secondary school, every secondary school student comes to a point where they have to choose what school they'll go to after their O levels or their N levels. So my mom, given that I was pretty interested in this and also the entire tech world, she suggested and kind of pointed me in the direction to look and research into cybersecurity, on my own. And I think that was, very important for me, not just to choose the path that I'm on right now, but to realize that, cybersecurity is really exciting, and that I'll be able to spend those 3 years in TP learning something very meaningful for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the little anecdotal story. I think I had a chat with some of the youths who won one of the CTFs organized by CSA, and surprisingly, he shared that his Raspberry Pi got hacked. Raspberry Pi is the device, IoT device, got hacked by one of his seniors, and that actually sort of encouraged or sort of ignited his passion to find out more, and eventually it became an interest, and he's actually doing very well in the CTF field. So it seems like getting hacked helps to encourage people to know, okay, DC is shaking his head, so I guess I shall not pursue that point further. Any other of our youths would like to actually share your journey with your parents, or perhaps are there any that your parents initially did not agree with you taking on cybersecurity as a career, but eventually they changed their mind? Anyone, or all your parents were really supportive in this area? Wow, I see a bit of finger pointing.
Hi. I first started. I first had this interest in cybersecurity because there are a lot of cyber attacks that are happening, and they are increasing day by day and getting more sophisticated. So I thought that because of this, I wanted to step into the cybersecurity world to be able to better protect my loved ones. And the decision to pursue the cybersecurity path was my own, but I don't think I would be able to head down this path without the support of my parents. They never forced me to go for any profession at all. So they would just support me as long as I show that I'm passionate for it, and as long as I show that what I'm doing is actually giving me joy. So when I told them that I was doing cybersecurity, they said that, okay, that's great, and we'll support you all the way. So for that, I'm truly thankful.
Wow, thank you very much. Wow, everyone feels like clapping. Why not? Let's clap. I think parental support does play a very strong role, especially for youths. I mean, it makes things a lot easier. Now, before I actually move on, maybe I'd like to ask Ben, Mr. Ben Chua from COS. Your name has been quoted quite a lot by the youths. So just from hearing what the youths have mentioned today, what are your thoughts as one of the first CEO of one of the first cyber groups in Singapore with youths? What are some of your thoughts and your thinking? You can have a seat, Nori.
Okay. Wow. Okay, this is quite sudden, but I think both SMS and the youth really raised really good points today. If we talk about volunteerism, among youths, and especially those who are not in the cybersecurity sector, I think I have a very good vantage view in looking at the entire organization. We have about 100 plus volunteers, right, out of the 1,000 plus community members. And I'm really surprised because out of the 100, we can count about 10 to 15 who actually are not from the cyber background at all. And I mean, and I mean not even in the IT background. I have finance graduates, and we have HR professionals, right, who actually volunteer with us because they have an interest in the cybersecurity world, and because they see how technology is affecting their lives, right. One of my actually my finance director came and tell me I'm forced to take coding classes in NTU. And I told her, welcome to the 21st century, right? So yeah, I think youths in Singapore do recognize how digitization will affect them, and we have seen the uptake in that area where people actually spend time to get involved in the changing world. Yeah, and I think I'm really happy to have my fellow peers tonight who are also serving with me, serving the community together with me. And I think on the topic of parental support, I think Tabitha raised a really good point. None of us would have made it this far without our parents. And I think I think I would have more free reign to speak when my parents are not here tonight, so I don't have to worry about whether I'm allowed to go home. Right, but I would say my parents are instrumental. At first, they were very conservative, and I personally came from a background, with no technology, almost no technology, because they thought technology would distract me from my studies. Right, I only owned my first laptop in Polytechnic. Right, so but over time I saw the change, and until now they have been so fervent in their support for me. Yeah, going the extra mile to make sure I have the best exposure. Yeah. Thank you.
Just one more question, Ben. I we talk about CYS. How exactly did you have that spark or that idea to actually form CYS?
Okay, well, that's a very good question. Right. I think when I was in my third year of Polytechnic study, me and my friends, we looked back, right, and we reviewed how we have come so far. I think I was in internship at that point of time, and we realized that actually, when we were in Sec 4, we did not have that much exposure because, to be fair, at that point of time, CSA was not even started yet. When I was in Sec 4, right, and cyber was a very new topic, and we did not have the avenues to explore, the right ethical, appropriate avenues to, in that sense, explore that interest. Right, so we realized that we needed a community, right, a ground-up initiative where it's for youth by youth, and it's an environment where everybody will feel safe, and to conduct that exploration to properly explore not only just cyber but tech in general, right? So you will see through our initiatives, some of our members are leaning more towards AI, how AI will affect cybersecurity, how financial technology will affect cybersecurity. Right, so that's a very interesting growth of the organization where we started off with just cyber, right, in mind, but how we have spawned to many different directions. And that's really the vision that we had when we started this whole thing in the first place, right, was to give youths, in a sense, a stage, a platform in Singapore to step up and showcase, or rather take action and shape the digital future, which will be theirs one day. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think that deserves an applause from Ben. Just to share, I did not actually prep him on this question, so I just threw the ball at him, and I think from his response you can see his passion and really his interest in cybersecurity as a whole. Perhaps to close off this evening session, I could ask SMS, in terms of governmental support on the whole of government level, is there more that we could do or we could look at, or perhaps even CSA could take a lead in that direction to encourage more youths to take on cybersecurity as a profession or even as an area of volunteerism?
No, it's a good question, and it's a nice set of comments from Ben, which I agree with. The support from the government has been significantly increased over the last few years, and we've made announcements on a regular basis to the point now where we have a lot of programs. We have programs for every type of IHL space. We have programs in your mid-career. We have programs if you have an ICT background. We have a program for your non-ICT background. The list is long. I won't one by one bore you with every single thing, but rest assured that if you are looking for government support in terms of developing people in the tech industry or cybersecurity, go and ask Gaurav and his friends at Cybersecurity Agency. They'll match you with the right people, or IMDA or GovTech. The issue really actually is not the programs. We have more than enough programs. There's money there, there's scholarships there, there's opportunities and pathways. The issue now is encouraging people to come and join all these programs. And you can't do that just by saying, here's another government program, here's another government program. People have to have an interest, they have to be excited about it, and they have to see this as a potential career. So you started off just now by asking about the parents, and in truth, that is an important factor, because if this is a career that your parents have absolutely no understanding about, and they say you don't go and do something so crazy, it can be an obstacle. I think actually The audience today is not the people we have to convince. They're already here, right? But we do have to get the message out there that there are good opportunities in the tech space. And these jobs have names that didn't exist when I was in school. There were courses that were not available when I was in school, which means that the parents are going to have a sense of uncertainty. So some of our approach, I think, in government must be to demystify a little bit of this and to go out there and explain that these are the things that are happening in Singapore around us. And that when we talk about scams, or we talk about hacks, and we talk about data breaches, we should also make sure that we say, and these are the people who are protecting you, and they are your children, they are your sons and daughters who are out there doing it, and these are the kinds of jobs that are available. So I think we have no shortage of intent. We have no shortage of programs. What we have to do now is make it work and get people excited. You see, the cybersecurity space is, it's not just one of those things that we're doing here in Singapore. Our success over the last 55 years, a lot of it has been around trust. That people can trust the Singapore brand, they can trust the Singapore business, they can trust the Singapore way of doing things. And in the real world, you can feel that trust and you can see it. The fact that, we have to go around and remind people no crime doesn't mean low crime doesn't mean no crime. I think we must be the only place in the world where people have to be reminded, please don't leave your handphone to chop a seat in the hawker center. So you can feel the trust in the real world. Online, there's really not a lot of difference between logging onto a local website or logging onto a website halfway around the world. How do you feel that trust? How do you have that assurance and that sense of security? Well, it comes because repeatedly you get things done, and the things that you get done remain secure, your transactions remain protected, your data remains private, and you build one by one, layer by layer, transaction by transaction, interaction by interaction. It takes a lot of time. And what makes that happen is a very robust cybersecurity process. So it's foundational and fundamental to our ambition as a smart nation, as a technologically driven digital nation. It's not a by the by type of thing. So we will continue to pay a lot of attention to this space. We will continue to be very encouraged and heartened that there are people like the many young people in this room setting up organizations, joining organizations, doing things in their school, getting things done in this space. And also thank you very much to all the partners, corporate, government agency, volunteerism, who have made this ecosystem possible as well. And I think one group that I haven't said very much about, I think it was spoken a little bit about by some of our colleagues, is actually the faculty, people who take it upon themselves to do the training in this space. I think it's a very important thing that we have here, and that our ability to train our own group of cybersecurity professionals here in Singapore, that in itself is a very important skill that we have to have and we have to develop. And I want to say thank you very much to all the faculty out there who play a very important role in developing the next generation of cybersecurity professionals and inspiring them around the opportunities that are available. So congratulations to all the awardees. Thank you to all the partners who've made today and the events around today possible. And thank you for inviting me here to join you. It's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SMS. Can we all give SMS a big round of applause? And please give yourselves a big round of applause. I think we have heard many exciting insights, how we can move on. And just to end off this conversation, I think as a testament to the trust that SMS you mentioned. So I had a friend who actually flew from an overseas country to Singapore. And the first time he had an experience with the SingPass app and the experience on the SingPass app, he was so amazed that he could actually transact so easily with just a scan of the face, and all the data is on the app itself. And yet he has that trust in the Singapore government that it is a space which is secure, which he can use without actually having to worry about anything. So I hope as we move on, the next generation of our cybersecurity professionals, hopefully some of them are seated here this evening, can help to maintain that trust, to help to uphold that trust that people have in Singapore and in our cybersecurity ecosystem. With that, thank you once again, SMS Jalil, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. I shall pass the time back to the MC. SMS, please.
Thank you for that fruitful session, sir. May we invite the CEO of Ensign Info Security, Ms. Tammy Tham, up on stage to receive the token of appreciation from our guest of honor, SMS Dr. Janil. May we invite Tammy to present the token of appreciation to SMS Dr. Janil for gracing the Student Volunteer Recognition Program Award Ceremony 2020. Our deepest appreciation to Dr. Janil for his support in nurturing the next generation of cybersecurity professionals. We proudly present you a token of appreciation as captured in this drawing done by Rajin Talada from Ensign Info Security Marketing Team. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the Student Volunteer Recognition Program Award Ceremony 2020. We would like to thank our exclusive sponsor, Ensign Info Security, for making this ceremony possible, as well as our supporting agency, Cybersecurity Agency of Singapore, for their strong support. AISP will be launching the Singapore Cybersecurity Inter-Association Quiz from 25th March 2021 until 30th September 2021. For more details, please refer to our Facebook and our upcoming AISP newsletter for more details. Attractive prizes worth $500 are to be won and will be presented during the Singapore Cyber Day in November 2021. Thank you everyone and see you in the SVRP Award Ceremony 2021.